Colorado firefighters are really busy right now. There are new fires that were sparked in our state. Thanks for joining us on KUSA.
I'm Alexandra Lewis. Welcome in. The Western Slope is seeing the majority of the activity right now. Here's a look at where those fires are burning throughout our state. Now, some of these have been burning for weeks, while others popped up over the weekend. One of the newest fires is the Oak Fire. It's burning in Archuleta County in southwestern Colorado. So far, it's burned about 150 acres. Evacuations have been ordered for an area west of Pagosa Springs, with the shelter set up at Pagosa Springs High School. Democratic Governor Jared Polis has declared a disaster emergency, freeing up the National Guard to come in and help support firefighters. And within the last few hours, FEMA approved funding to support more resources. Another fire near the town of Craig also prompted evacuations for a short time yesterday. It started in a home and quickly spread to nearby fields, threatening more than 50 homes. The Moffat County Sheriff's Office now says 4 structures burned in that fire: the home, the garage, the shed on the property where it started, and another garage or a shed nearby. 2 firefighters were treated and released for heat and smoke-related issues. The fire is now fully contained.
These new fires come as crews were dealing with what is now the 5th largest wildfire in state history. The Bureau of Land Management says the Lee Fire near Meeker is now up to more than 113,000 acres. That's about 177 square miles. Tonight, it's just 7% contained. That fire forced the Rifle Correctional Center to evacuate nearly 180 inmates. They went to the Buena Vista Correctional Complex. On the other side of Meeker, crews are gaining ground on the Elk Fire. It's burned more than 14,000 acres. That's more than 20 square miles. Right now, containment is up to 30%. And while it's cooler, it's still really dry. And Kathy, we know the western slope and all of western Colorado has been dealing with really dry, hot conditions.
And we talk about this, that fire season is every month out of the year here in Colorado. But when you have a string of unusually warm days like we had last week, and then you have warm weather coming back the middle part of this week, and it's been so dry, we just all have to be vigilant and mindful as we track 10 separate fires burning across our state. I'm watching Lamar, looking live now with our camera there. We do see the chance for a little bit of rain in that part of our state from slow-moving thunderstorms tracking that way from the northwest. 82 in Denver today. Nice to see a break from the heat. The average high is 88, so nice to see a cooler temperature trend. But in the last hour, the wind has started to pick up now out of the north and northeast from Roggen back down to the Centennial and Castle Rock areas. So watching that closely. And the air quality, not great. There's an alert out for wildfire smoke across the western slope. The storms that we're tracking, while possibly bringing a brief rain shower, may also bring some wind and lightning, something we don't want with the elevated fire concerns. But Lamar, there's a chance for rain coming your way. Sheridan Lake, Cheyenne Wells, and Las Animas. So hoping that comes true. Denver looks like we're going to have a quiet night tonight, another dry day tomorrow, and then we start to turn up the heat again. Low 80s now, 10 degrees cooler by 10 o'clock. And weather headlines, we'll check the radar again coming up and talk about which days we could see record high temperatures near 100 degrees.
Right now, a crash involving a semi-truck is causing some major delays on eastbound C-470 in Jefferson County. It happened just before 2 o'clock near the Kin Carroll exit. You can see the semi is on its side, and that's causing a lot of delays on the west side of town. Colorado State Patrol says the semi was the only vehicle involved. The driver has been taken to the hospital for treatment. Right now, it's not clear when the road will reopen.
Police have arrested a man they say intentionally rammed a motorcycle in southeast Denver last night, pushing it into oncoming traffic and killing the rider. It happened near Hamden and Yosemite just before 7:30 last night. Investigators say 45-year-old Diego Ortega Camero got into an argument with 2 men riding the same motorcycle, and they say one of those men fired a shot. Police say Ortega Camero then slammed his car into the bike, pushing it into the path of another car. One of the men was killed, the other critically injured. Ortega Camero is now facing charges of vehicular homicide and assault.
New body camera video sheds some light on what led up to a deadly shooting involving an Aurora police officer back in June. The shooting happened June 14th on Arkansas Drive near Chambers in Mississippi. Police say a husband and a wife had been arguing. After it ended, the husband, 58-year-old Todd Smith, went to the garage. Body cam video shows officers talking with him. Smith eventually walked over to a toolbox and grabbed a gun. Officers drew their weapons and ordered him to drop it. Instead, police say he turned toward an officer still holding that gun. That's when the officer fired twice. Smith was taken to a hospital where he later died. Aurora police say an independent investigation is now underway to determine whether the officer's actions complied with state law. Families who have loved ones in jail and prison may soon start to see the cost of making a phone call skyrocket. One woman discovered the reason why and contacted our investigative team.
Turns out this new rule that is supposed to stop out-of-control costs for jail phone calls has recently been suspended by the Trump administration. 9 News investigative reporter Jeremy Hohola joins us now. So, Jeremy, what does this mean for families?
Well, it's not inmates who pay for jail phone calls, but their families on the outside. Now, because of this suspended cap on the cost of jail calls, families may actually have to start cutting back on talking to loved ones.
And I just think that it's inhumane.
As her husband, the father of her child, remains in the Adams County Jail, Autumn Ray says daily phone calls through the HomeWave app are crucial to keep the family connected.
And we parent a child together, so, I mean, going a whole day without talking is like impossible.
Adding to the stress of a loved one in jail, Autumn noticed out of the blue the cost to receive a jail call from her husband doubled overnight, from about $2 for 30 minutes to $4.
Well, I could tell you the day it happened, actually. I was driving up here to work and we were on the phone. And he goes, the system's glitching. It's like the money's going down like twice as fast.
What she's experiencing is a shift in rules established by the FCC. Last year, under the Biden administration, the FCC capped the cost of jail calls with the goal to ease financial hardship. Just this summer, under the Trump administration, the FCC lifted that cap, and jails like Adams County are going back to the old higher costs.
Even though these sound like just pennies on the dollar, this created such a cost savings for families that they were able to communicate with their loved ones more.
Wanda Bertram of the Prison Policy Initiative calls the rate increases unjustified, saying jails are nickel and diming families.
A lot of people will say, well, you did a crime or you're accused of a crime, you should have to pay these costs. What people don't understand is that's not who's paying. Incarcerated people don't earn any money. Who's paying is their families. Low income, working class.
I'm really upset. And honestly, like, I know, like, I'm talking about, gosh, $300 a month. And like, that is a huge blessing to be able to spend that much money. But it infuriates me from the standpoint that there's people now in the pod that can't talk to their family members at all. Like, $5 for a phone call is a lot of money for a lot of people.
In the meantime, a jail spokesperson acknowledged the cost increase was because of the changing FCC rules. A portion of the money made off these calls goes back to the county. A spokesperson said that money is used to cover things like board games and TVs for housing units. In the newsroom, Jeremy Hohola, 9 News.
Yeah, there's a lot of families that are a long ways away, and that's the only communication really they have.
Yeah, and this is the first time we're hearing about it. We may hear more cost increases, not only here in Colorado, but across the country.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Yeah.